All right, I was watching TV the other day and I heard a doctor say American men live sicker and die younger than American women. And I have to tell you, I was stunned by that until she mentioned the reason. What she said was that many men simply don't like to go to the doctor. And I had to ask myself, why is this? Well, to answer that question this morning is Dr. Fisch, one of the leading doctors in the area of men's health. Dr. Fisch joins us this morning to talk about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're with us this morning because I just want to cut to the chase here. Why is it so hard to get men to go to the doctor?
Hey, come on. We don't even ask for directions when we're lost, right? The bottom line is it's denial, denial, denial. We have that shield in front of us that says we are the best. We are our health. We don't have health problems. We're just as strong as possibly can be. And even since a young age, we're told to suck it up, play with injuries, right? If you're on a team. Well, that's all nonsense. It turns out that, just like a guy brings a car in for a tune-up, right? They do that at least twice a year. We need to see a doctor because we really, just like women go to see a doctor at least once a year, guys have to do that too to determine whether they have medical problems. Because now there are so many treatments for them. They can live longer, healthier, at least live as long as a woman. How's that?
Well, I like that because I have to tell you, my husband is the complete opposite, Dr. Fisch, because he goes probably more frequently than I do. But the thing I've realized from his doctor's visits is men face some critical health issues, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It turns out that men have something called a hormone called testosterone. And testosterone is the male hormone. When it's low, it's associated with medical problems, such as diabetes. Did you know, Danielle, that 50% of adult onset diabetic men have low testosterone? Right, that's pretty bad. And the low testosterone is not just associated with diabetes, but it could be high blood pressure, overall well-being, and low sex drive. How important is that?
You know what? It's extremely important, but what causes low testosterone?
It turns out that naturally men lose their testosterone about 1% per year after the age of 30. However, if you've gained weight and have a pot belly, how many men do you know have that? If you have a pot belly, the testosterone levels really decline at a much steeper pace. So these are men that have a biological clock that is revved up, and they really have a lower testosterone levels. And these are men, let's face it, you may have seen them, big belly, fatigued, depressed sometimes, poor sex drive, may have diabetes, may have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about 50% of this country, of at least the men. So we have millions and millions of men that have this problem. And these are the men, you got to go see the doctor because it's not just scary. It shouldn't be scary to see the doctor if you have a low testosterone because the treatment is pretty straightforward.
All right, I feel like I'm in your office right now because my husband has suffered with this, but he's extremely fit. He was a former professional athlete, but when he went to the doctor for one of his last visits, they told him he had low testosterone. He is in phenomenal shape. So what can be done for men who may not have the pot belly and who may be in great shape, but who still have the low testosterone?
Hey, there's two common reasons why somebody like your husband might have a low testosterone if you're in great shape and exercise all the time. Hate to say it, he may be over-exercising. Danielle, how old is he?
He is 43, and he works out at least 6 days a week. At
least. He may be overdoing it. You know how women, when they exercise too much, may lose their periods? Well, it turns out that men who exercise too much without that recovery time is very important and may not be eating exactly well because he may be even too thin for all you know. But people who exercise too much may have low testosterone levels. Yeah, so that's very, very important to know.
All right, so what is the takeaway here then for women and men who are watching? Why is it important that they let go of their fears or their egos or whatever it is and get into a doctor's office?
Well, I'd like to play up on that ego. If you think you're responsible for your family and your kids, well, you got to take care of yourself first because otherwise you're selfish. Because if a guy doesn't take care of himself and becomes ill, well, you know what? Your relationship with your spouse is going to suffer. Because you're just not going to be good in bed, right? You're not going to be that caring person. I always say you want to converse with your spouse.
Sure.
Well, conversing, having sex, having a great sex life is very important. What about taking care of the kids? You don't just take care of the kids when they're young, you take care of the kids when they're older. So you want to be that person in the 60s, 70s, 80s that is perfectly healthy and around for the kids and the grandkids. So let's not be selfish here. So you got to go see that doctor because of your family.
That
very,
is
very important.
A great takeaway, a great piece of advice for everybody out there listening who may be having trouble getting their boyfriend or even their dad or their spouse into your office or into a doctor's office.
Right.
Dr. Harry Fisch, it was so great talking with you this morning, and thanks for being with us.
Great talking to you, Danielle. Take care.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.